Okay, I think this is about, I don't know, fifth or sixth episode. Oh, again? Okay. Oh, I know where we're at. Yeah. Very odd how that is. Dude. Yes, definitely computer issues. Well, it's a feature of the Bethesda game. There's something about the character creation. I use a mod. It's something to do with race menu, using presets. I'm trying to use this Siri preset. It's not her face, but it's mostly her. Every time I start the game fresh, the preset chokes and I end up with something different. So I have to quit the game, start it back up again, and I get this. I get the face I'm supposed to be getting. Although that doesn't quite look like the right face. I was playing Witcher earlier this morning, actually all morning. Okay, green eyes, round pupils. She's supposed to have black eyebrows, though. And the jawline's right. Of course, the scar's missing, the freckles are missing. But anyway, that's just facial details. My internet wasn't working all morning. For the last 5 hours. Finally, I decided to do a restart, and it started working. But it did give me a chance. Why are you pointing? Oh, right. I'm tempted to go over here, though. Ooh, I've got no weapons in my hands. Why is that? Something tells me I'm going to need this. Let's go see. So I've been wanting to play Witcher. Kind of finishing up a game I had started a while ago. A playthrough, rather. Geez, that sounds pretty quiet. I've never played the Witcher series. Looks like a good game, though. In my opinion, if you're an RPG person, it is a good game. It's definitely a good game. Um, what they say, and what I found to be true, oh, wow. Guy just two-shotted me? That game wins all kinds of awards for story. Very dramatic, long-winded dialogue exchanges in many of them. It's very dramatic, drama, very drama. But the fighting is cool. Plenty of fighting. It's got some different fighting mechanics than Skyrim, Fallout, than any of the games I'm familiar with. All the other games I'm familiar with. Let's do as it asks. I played Witcher 2, and I liked it. Bought Witcher 3, I like it. I've watched Witcher 1. It's just too old for me. You're going back too far. It was nice to watch. Too bad I didn't buy it back in the day. I tried the same thing with Fallout 4. I was into Fallout 3, and that was cool. There are just some games that are too old. Yeah, unless you really want to do it for the nostalgia. Like with Skyrim, I started with Elder Scrolls 4. Loved it. Skyrim comes out, I play Skyrim. Loved it. So I get the idea, hey, Elder Scrolls 4, there must have been an Elder Scrolls 3, because I didn't know at the time. So there's Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. I bought it. It's just too old. Nobody's voiced. It's a bunch of reading. And the graphics are just too old. But, you know, if that was the first game you started playing back in the day, you've kind of, I don't know, maybe fixate or bond, one of those words. You kind of bond to a game. And so you don't care how old it is. You just love to play it. That's how I am with Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4. A lot of people think the graphics are just too old. Like, you know, they are, but nowhere near. I got Morrowind when I got a Steam account and didn't like it at all. Oblivion and Skyrim are great for me as well. I agree with the nostalgia factor. Yeah. I know a girl, a woman, that's her primary game is Morrowind. She's a modder from Australia. She knows that game. She mods. She's really smart. She's a teacher. You know, middle-aged woman. She just loves that game, and that's her shtick. That's what she does. She does it really well. She loves that game. There's a lot to love about that game. Back at some point, and it may still be true, That game was known for having the largest world. They took all the dungeons, all the towns and cities and the wildernesses, and measured them.
You picked a bad time to get along.
You saying something? And that game was huge. Huge. The amount of cities, the amount of square area. I forget the numbers. But they had them all measured out into square kilometers or hectares or whatever. It was a huge game, a huge world. I found it to be really grindy after a while. When I first started playing it, I was like, this is cool, something different, new, all that. Then I got tired of all the reading. If it was say a 50-hour game or a 100-hour game, I would have done it no problem. But it was one of those games like, Fallout and Skyrim. You can spend hundreds of hours on a playthrough. And I'm like, oh no, I can't do this. So I never finished it, put it away. Yeah, I guess we'll take everything. Witcher's not one of my top 5, though. I find the characters a little janky, a little hard to control. I find I really have good control on this character. I'm not always, like, say I want to go up to this barrel and open it and loot it. I walk right up to it, and there's a nice big hitbox here. But with Witcher, you walk up to it, you don't see the activation AQ, or your character will just walk right by it, and you got to try to turn them around. And it's just janky. It doesn't have as fine of a control on it. I find myself going back and forth, trying to get the hitbox to line up. But, I can forgive it for that. I can get used to that. This appears to be a special mission. And I have a feeling it's going to be one of those missions where when I complete it, all of a sudden I'm going to be going, hey, Miss Roadrunner. Hiya, Sir Tom. How you doing, Miss Roadrunner? How's the weather out west? Are you getting snow? We got wind and fast winds and cold. We got a bunch of slush and it all froze. Doing well and cold as anything here, yeah. We're below freezing, not by a lot, but enough to make everything hard as rock. I think Thursday it's supposed to warm up enough and get a little bit of a rain-snow mix. I should soften the ground, well, the surface, the snow, the frozen footprints, enough so I can get some of the work I gotta get done. So yeah, I'll show you what I meant about this being a special. This is where I am. So here's a College of Winterhold. This is a quest for pirates for Windhelm, which is right here. But if you notice, it doesn't give me a location name. It just gives me a quest description. I can't fast travel here. So I think this is one of those quests that once you start it, you can't leave here. I mean, you could load another game, another save, and you'd have to start this quest all over again. Just stay warm. Go west, young man. Well, I'd like to go somewhere other than Connecticut. The taxes are horrible. They're not very farmer friendly in Connecticut. Oh, the politicians will give you all the lip service, but that's not what they want. I'm used to it. I've been in this house since '87. Back then, we used to have to put up a double snow fence. The snow would drift. Oh, geez, as high as a house, or 3/4 as high as a house. And we'd have to get a bulldozer to clear the top of the driveway. We don't get snow like that anymore. The poor rose bush got smushed by the last dumping of snow. Yeah, I got a lot of, I don't know, shrubberies and things like that. Every time we get a heavy snow, if I don't knock the snow off, it builds up and it crushes the branches down. And then come springtime, I got a bunch of broken branches and kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah, you just reminded me, I forgot to clean them off this storm. We didn't get a lot of snow though. We were supposed to get like 15 inches, and we got like 2 inches of slush. Although,
Found you.
slush is right. Or that black ice. Yuck. Well, I would prefer 15 inches of powder, because I can snow blow that. Snow blower will chew right through that and throw it 50 feet. And I can shovel it. It's not heavy. I can fill up the shovel. It's not bad. I can scrape down my driveway right down to the bottom and clear everything off. But slush? No. Slush just doesn't snow blow. And it's a killer when you try to shovel it. You guys get that nasty heavy stuff. I don't know if it's usual, but there is often a rain snow line, especially near the coast. It all depends on the storm front, where it's coming from, how it's moving, how the different air masses are. Connecticut's in a very unique spot geographically, weather-wise. We get a lot of powder here. Take your broom out. Yeah, get your leaf blower, right? I've never lived out on the West Coast, or especially the Northwest Coast. Little your broom. Nice. Once in a while, you know, if we get a quarter of an inch or an inch, I can use a broom on sidewalks, narrow pathways. Of course, not out on the roads, but the truck and such. Yeah, my driveway's just too fat. What I like to do is make piles, and then I'll come out with the snow blower and blow the pile. It seems like such a waste to use a snow blower for a half an inch or an inch of snow. I'm kind of fussy. I like to scrape the driveway clean because I know you scrape it clean, the sun will dry it right up. But if you leave it there, it'll melt eventually, and it makes that slush that freezes. Oh, no bucket left behind. I kind of got myself lost here. I'm thinking this is a closet. Oh, geez. Okay, that's pointing me to my objective, but yeah. I like the skiing places that gets, oh yeah. But if we have it fine, oh, that's good. But have it or don't have it. Not this half an, yeah. Oh, when I was younger, I used to love to ski. We don't have the big high mountain ski resorts like you have, West, you know. But there's a real nice place 20 minutes from me. I grew up skiing there. I don't ski anymore though. I stopped years ago. It got so expensive. That and I started to worry about getting hurt and having to heal and not being able to work. This was years ago. Oh yeah, really spend, no kidding. We used to have dollar night back in the mid 70s. Dollar night. It'd be like on a Monday night. It was very busy. So you didn't get a lot of runs in. You had to wait in line. A lot of waiting in line. Oh, I just got overloaded. But I had my own equipment, so a dollar. A dollar. Had a lot of fun back then. And every time we had a no school day because of snow, we'd go out and shovel driveways, make a bunch of money, buy a ticket to the ski lifts. Back then it might have been something like, well, $6 and then $15. And now I don't know what is it, $50, $100, and finally my equipment got so old. Haha, cross-country skiing just to get where you need to go. I got a sister-in-law that comes up here to our farm and she cross-country skis around. I always liked downhill. You don't have to put a lot of work into it. Just let gravity take you.
Huh?
That was all about speed.
Split your belly like an old
Oh, hello. Where'd you come from? I thought I was sneaking around in here. Funny following the mister here in his tracks, doing real well. Misstep, fell in the snow up to my waist, holding my camera above my head and just laughing. We used to get snow that deep. Even in the mid-'80s, I spent a winter working on in a neighborhood, a development. Snow was up to your butt if you weren't working around the house where the snow was all cleared. Is that a... See those holes in the floor. Is that a trap or is that a door? Okay. Did I finish in there? Oh. I think I came through there? I don't know. Did I go down there yet? Let's look at my map. Okay, I came from there. I remember back in the day, my buddy had a snowmobile. And we're taking turns with it. Just an old junk. And we bump into a buddy of ours who's doing some cross-country skiing. Well, somebody got the idea to get a rope. Well, as you know, cross-country skis don't stay on very well. It's not like water skiing. Okay, I'm supposed to kill this guy. If this is the magic user. This snowmobile was an old piece of junk. It was lucky to do 50 miles an hour. That was my turn. I'm going 50 miles an hour. Cross-country skis. And I wiped out. You could see the track in the snow where I wiped out. I don't know what I hit. The ski popped off. And then for like, I don't know, 50, 75 feet, there was nothing. That was me flying through the air. And then there was a whole bunch of snow prints. Oh, really? That's the best you could do? Oh man, did I suck. And this guy cowers in the corner. That was just, that was sad. It was sad. I got his key. So that'll get me into that room that I couldn't get into a moment ago. I can't believe how easy that was. It was soft snow. And it's a good thing it was deep enough. Because, 50 miles an hour, I flew, 50, 75 feet in the air, hit the ground, tumbling. But when you're young like that, you just bounce. That was probably, I don't know, 30. We were crazy when we were kids. We had something called the gun barrel. It was just a real steep straightaway. You couldn't go down it straight from the top. Straight. You had to go part way down it and then start to go straight. I have 3 sons, I can imagine. Yeah. So the challenge was, how high on the mountain dared you start to go straight? I don't want to get rid of that. One day, it was our last run and we knew it. There was a jump at the bottom of the trail. And we were hitting it during the night. This is the last run. And there's several of us together. Well, 2 of us were really, really close. And we both wanted to hit the jump. But there was only space enough for one of us. And neither one of us pulled away. So we both hit the jump at the same time from different angles. Hit in midair. What a tangle of equipment that was. Oh, what a wipeout. Again, if we were any older, we would have had broken bones. I don't know how. Let's see. I think we go down a floor. I don't know how I survived a lot of that stuff. I remember one time there was some kind of a hole in the snow. I don't know why, but it was just a hole. When young, the boys would get to the top of the pine trees and slide down. That just looked painful to me. I didn't know you could do that. But it makes sense. When we were young, the snow would get so deep, we could jump off a 2nd-story porch into the snow piles. Oh, you can. I do wonder if they were showing off for us girls. Well, do you think? Oops, don't. That's a mistake. There was a hole in the snow, and I ran over it and my ski tip went inside of it. It broke the tip right off my ski, yanked my binding out of the ski by the screws. Of course, I went flying. Didn't twist my knee, didn't rip a tendon, didn't break my leg. How does that even happen? To break the tip of the ski right off, rip the binding out by the screw. Now just thinking of it, it hurts. Well, you know, when I think of it, it makes me think that, you know, the, magic, stuff like that. How does something like that even happen? It's like extreme rare coincidental statistic. I probably, most times, a person would have probably broken their leg doing something like that. Remember another time went off a, because where we are, our spring skiing kind of sucks. It gets a lot of icy. Gets a lot of icy. And I go over this mound and I fall over backwards. I hit my head on the ice hard. Gave myself a concussion, but I didn't know it. I didn't know what a concussion was. I'm going around with a headache, a stomach ache. I feel like puking. I'm dizzy. I don't know what that means, but I'm not going to stop skiing because we only got a couple hours. It wasn't until I was an adult and I learned the signs of a concussion were. I was skiing around with a concussion. Oh, hello. So I was supposed to just go in there and kill that mage and let these guys take over. I say these guys, not these guys. I'm here with some friends. Friends. Not really friends, but whoa. I felt that in the rumble pack. Oh? Geez, I have expected the reinforcements to come in. They said, you sneak in, kill the wizard, and we'll take care of the rest. When I think back on all the things I did when I was a kid that didn't kill me, it makes you believe in God. I was glad to see you streaming, to be honest. Well, thank you, Miss Roadrunner. I've been checking out your channel a lot. I like it when I can learn stuff that I don't know, especially about a game that I've been playing so much, and I still haven't caught on to certain things. That's why one of the reasons why I like Crack of Gold so much. Hey, somebody shooting artillery? It's kind of cool. I don't see any red dots. It's giving me a quest marker. Probably take damage here. I don't know. Really? Can you let me stand in the fire? Sometimes these games will let you do that. Sometimes you can die if you step in a little campfire for just a few seconds. I have my editing hat on. Oh my God, it can get tedious. Yeah, yeah. I used to edit my videos a little bit, trim the ends, cut out some of the middle boring stuff, but it just takes so much time. Because when I stream, it's not for an hour or two, it's for like 8. I've streamed 30 hours, 24, a handful of times. 16, 18 hours is nothing for me. And that's too many hours to go through and edit. I'll use the words of one of my favorite YouTubers. He puts a video out almost every day. And he says the trick is not to leave the camera rolling all day long at work. And then pick out the good parts. Just turn it on. And catch the good parts. And a lot of times you miss some of the good parts because you don't know they're going to be good. But not to spend a lot of time editing. This is great advice when you know something is going to happen. Well, you know, he brings his cameras to work. So that's what he puts out there. Heavy equipment operation. I don't know how that translates into gaming. I stopped clipping the beginnings and ends off my tapes. Ow! I saw that coming. But I was sneaking, so I was slow to move. You're not going to come up here and get me?
You start running so I can stab you in the back.
Come on up here. You can do it. I'm not stepping out there to get shot by that archer.
Call yourself a Nord?
No, I don't. Come on.
So much easier to rope when you're dead.
Let's see. Let's do something like there. That'll keep you. Yeah, that'll keep you busy. Come on, dude. Walk up there and swing at him. Get out of the dingleys here. No, jeez, you sucked. Oh, don't be attacking her. I need to, you need to stop, dude. Okay. I guess when this guy kills somebody, it rises as a ghost and fights for him. That's what was just going on. He was treating her like an enemy. But yet he's not attacked. There we go. Now he's gone. She's my ally. I wanted to loot all this stuff before it despawns. Looks like you're having fun with this game. Yes, yes. Well, you know, the anniversary edition. I haven't played through it yet. I started to last season, but my computer was broken by an update. And so even though last season I had a lot of time for streaming, my computer was broke and I spent so much time trying to get it up and running and working. It became spring and I got busy out in the fields and never really got very far with the anniversary edition. So a lot of it is still new to me. And I think that's often the most fun part of a video game when they're brand new and it's all new to you. You haven't seen that before, you haven't played that before, you don't know the story, all that stuff. Not to mean that games aren't fun after you've played them, because there's a whole different thing. I found some new mods from Fallout 4. I gotta stay away from mods. I got 6 gig left on a 117 gig hard drive. I mean, I've got mods that are a gig. The game is already a little goofy because there's not enough open space on the hard drive. Your RAM kind of works in sync with some of your spare hard drive space for computing, like room on your desktop, say, at work. You need room for all that. Okay, you ready to take over?
There you are.
I've killed Halden.
Impressive work. We started the attack once you made the fog scamper away like that. Hope you didn't catch any of the fire. We can head back whenever you're set. There's celebrating to be done. Are you ready to go?
Oh no, I'm getting an echo. Ah.
Let me know. We shouldn't stay here all day. My men want their mead.
It might be time for a new tower. Miss Roadrunner, you hearing an echo in my sound when she was talking? I'll give you another listen, see if she'll...
Are you ready to go?
You hearing that echo?
Let me know. We shouldn't stay here all day. My men want their mead.
Yeah, there is an echo. Actually, yeah, I was here. Yeah. Yeah, it isn't really obnoxious. I just set up my PS4 again. and it kind of conflicts with some of my settings. It takes over my mic. It automatically sets the default to my headset and my mic, even when it's not on. I found that out by accident. I thought my sound was broken. I was watching a YouTube movie and I couldn't hear any sound, and I gave it a thumbs down for not having any sound. I happened to be right though, because the next one I played it had no sound, and that's when I figured it out and got the sound to work. I'm like, well, wait a minute, did that first one have sound, or did I misjudge it? No, the first one didn't have sound. But I'll have to figure that out. You guys still sending in cannon fire? Is that what that is? What are you aiming at? Well, I don't know. It's the ship we came here on. Okay, call it done. For me, Windows had a update, so the drivers had to update, and Steam had to update. Tell me about it. I go through and I get all my settings just the way I want them. And, for them, it's not enough for them to update their software. Part of their update is to change all our settings to where they want them to be. It has nothing to do with the purpose of an update.
Are you ready to go?
All right, let's go.
All aboard.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I got mine set so it won't automatically update. But every time I update it manually, it changed that setting so that it automatically will update. I don't like it to do that. I like it to update when I'm busy doing something else, not just before I stream and have it break my stuff and then me take half a day trying to fix it. Yeah, manually set as well. Yeah. Too many times, I get the blue screen of death. The computer won't even boot. I gotta go in there and start swapping my drives around just to try to get the thing to boot. I've got some old, smaller drives that have operating systems on them. Oh no, don't listen to him, computer. That was that blue screen of death. That was back before, well, maybe I don't know. Before my hard drive was so full. I don't really know. All I know is I got an update, and when it went to restart after updating, I got the blue screen of death. It was telling me periodically, well, let's see it. At some point, I got a message saying, because during an update, it wanted to update to Windows 11. I'm running 10. And it says, oh, your computer doesn't have the resources for Windows 11. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I killer rig here. No, I am not going to be their guinea pig. Get used to it. I gave up a long time ago. I said, Bill, whatever you want. I used to try to buck the system and use other software that wasn't his. Let's see what time for. We can do a little fishing. We'll fish in the 2 spots. And after that, it should be, the office should be open. You have Windows 10 Pro. Well, ever since Windows 3.11, 3.11, it just got worse and worse and worse. Yeah, they might add a couple features that you'd like, but it changed from a computer nerd's tool to a layman's marketing black hole. I hear Windows 11 is all cosmetic. Well, I'll take that. They started hiding all the stuff that I got used to using and made it hard to find. But what they made really easy to find, where to shop for this, where to buy that, how to spend your money here or there, how to promote their junk. Yeah, just push that button. Yeah. It turned into a big marketing scam. And a huge, like, propaganda. Here's all the news we want you to hear. Just the way we want you to hear it. How about I just use the internet to find my own news like I used to? Go to the websites that I liked. Right. Turn the internet on when we want to be on the internet. You know, what I'm going to do eventually when I have to replace this computer, I'm going to keep it and not connect it to the internet. Ever. I'll get all that shit off that computer and I'll put my sensitive stuff on it. It'll never connect to the internet ever again. And as long as I don't try to buy new programs or new games that need more resources that it doesn't have, it'll run the same old stuff that I've got forever. Use it just for a storage device. Well, you could do that, but if I were to never buy a new video game with real and much more intensive resources, it needed more resources, this computer would play the video games I've got for the next 100 years, unless it mechanically breaks down. There's a server you could put on that puppy and use it as an indoor server only. Yes. Yes. Else, just you and your, yeah, or just me and a close friend or something like that, which none of my friends play video games. Most of them don't even know their way around a computer very much. It's kind of sad. I don't know. I don't get it. You need the net for that. Well, in this house, I'd run a hard wire. And I don't want this computer, my second computer, connected to the internet at all. Once you're connected to the internet, stuff happens. They can get in. The software that you have, no matter how innocuous you think it is, has coding in it that tells it to try to connect to the mothership. Keep contacting the mother corporation. Tell us what's going on. Tell us what we want to know. If I can't find that darn icon on my display, I'll tell you what that server's name is. Oops. Is there any fish left? Are there any fish left? Yes. And you can't get pinged. You know, some operating systems ago, I forget which it was, I could see my my bit rate. I knew exactly what my transfer rate was at any moment. I knew every time my computer was being pinged, somebody was trying to weasel their way in. Once you connect to the internet, you're just leaving an unlocked door to a thief. So this computer's going to get reconfigured, and it's never going to connect to the internet again. But I don't think I need a universal media. Let me make a note. I'll check that out, see if I have a use for it someday. I checked out that Raspberry Pi you were talking about, and the AAF mods, and I haven't experimented with the X and Z stuff for moving things statically. I haven't been playing Fallout 4. That's where I planned on using that. My problem is my C drive is just too full. And maybe you've got, oh my God, I was looking at those and boy, their prices sure went up. I wasn't aware such a product existed. I would have been super into those things when I was like, 10, 12.
Take them off for a little bit.
No. They weren't out. We had things like the Erector set and 1001 electronic experiments, like the chemistry sets of the day. It was for electronics. Robotics wasn't a thing. Computers weren't a thing. Calculators weren't a thing. I learned trigonometry with a slide rule in high school. Shoot, I connected the VCR to all the TVs in my father's home. He thought I was a genius. Yeah. It's funny how the older generation, most of them don't learn the new stuff. I guess I'm different. I can keep right up with my nephews. I just tell them, slow down, stop talking so fast. Give it to me a sentence at a time. I'll digest it and I'll understand it. Dad, you connect this to this, that is it. I mean, read the directions, right? Although it takes a certain amount of common sense to understand directions. I can see how some people just can't get it, but you know, what are you talking about? The difference between an IQ of 120 and 80? Oh gosh, those who invented the internet are closer to 70 than 60. Yeah, right. And the first uses of the internet wasn't, the internet got hijacked by corporations and marketing and stuff. Capitalism ruined the internet. The internet, the way I heard the story, was mostly for scientists to connect to each other with databases, and you know, it was a much more academic tool. It wasn't meant for mass consumption, where Bill Gates wanted everybody to have a computer in their house. You know, the whole thing changed. But you know, once the genie's out of the bottle, university kids, if I recall correctly, those who started all of this. I know this guy from Australia. Oops. Through the internet. He says the internet was invented in Australia. I've never seen any documentaries. That's where or read anything about the invention or the discovery of the internet. I take him for his word that he knows what he was talking about. Yeah, I would have to see some facts on that one too. I would believe it, but I wouldn't bet my farm on it. I would like to see a documentary on that. I've seen all the documentaries about Apple and Bill Gates. You know, Bill Gates stole Windows from Apple. Apple, I forget the guy's name there, making those motherboards and stuff in his garage. He was so naive. He let his competition into his business to check out what he was doing. And he explained to him, oh yeah, over here we're working on some software where all you got to do is move this mouse around, point this arrow on this window and click on it, and you don't need DOS anymore, right? Because that's how we used computers when they first came out. You had to use DOS commands. Well, Bill Gates stole it from him and just ran and made a touchdown with it. It's in his documentary, Hand Me a Pencil, or something about a pencil was released. I don't trust documentaries as I had. Oh, Well, yeah, yeah. You gotta mistrust everything. You know, if Bill Gates made a documentary about computers, I wouldn't trust it. Simple as that. Got to consider the source. This Twitter thing, I am sitting back and watching the drama. I don't even know what it is. I don't read newspapers. I don't watch the news. I just don't care. It's not going to affect me. I haven't watched TV since back when Trump won the presidency. And I saw all the crazy politics. One side lying about this, the other side lying about that. It just angered me whenever I'd see anything on TV. I'm like, I don't need this anymore. It's kind of like the Facebook drama. Don't know anything about that either. I do have a home page on Facebook for our farm, just for a presence. So people that are doing an internet search, well, you know, I'm retired. My money's safe. I'm not investing. I'm not, I don't need to worry. If Coca-Cola goes bankrupt, it's not going to cost me anything. I don't need to keep up on stuff like that. That's the only thing that kept me watching news was financial. I needed to see which way the winds blew. You don't want to be heavily invested in a company, like say all of a sudden windmills or electric motors were really going to take off. Well, you don't want to be left holding Exxon. You know, it's back when the airplane was invented. You didn't want to be left holding all those railroad stocks because they all went to crap and the airplanes took off. So you had to keep up with things. You had to, my son sends me info. You got to see it. Yeah. My buddies show me stuff all this time. I go, no, I don't need to see that. Harry, I transparent Fisher. I thought I made myself a little more solid. Thought I was a little too transparent. Well, it all depends on the background. I see what you're seeing there. Yeah, that water makes a big difference. Well, there's an awful lot of fish here. Am I just casting for nothing here? Yes, I am. We're done here. Let's catch one more piece of junk and move on. I first saw your stream. I'm like, cool. And I didn't mean it to be a catchy gimmick, or anything like that. I just did it because I wished everybody did that. And not to pick on anybody who streams like I'm about to describe, but I just don't like it when they blow up their head to cover a quarter of the screen. Or it's some chick, you're seeing a picture of her cleavage down to her waist. You can see a full body shot, and it's taken up a quarter or like almost a quarter of the screen. Or the lower thirds, if you're familiar with the term, the lower third, banners, latest follower, latest donation, latest subscriber, this, that, and all this other stuff, covering the game. all these doodads and gewgaws covering the screen, covering the game. I'm watching this guy, he's in a fight. I can't tell, I can't see his health bar because his big fat head is covering it. I do like to see the picture of the streamer, and I want him to have a mic. I think that's important. That's just my opinion. But it doesn't need to be gigantic, and why cover up the game with it? And while playing with my software, I found a way to do what you see there. I didn't realize the only HUD I used to have on my stream is the chat box. Because when I see the video out of Twitch, I want to know who I am. Okay. I had that for a moment, Larry. And what I do is I go to my channel on Twitch, and then I go into Creator Dashboard. And then I pop out the chat. Now I got chat in a window. I can move that window anywhere I want. Of course, it depends on how many screens. I'm using 3 screens, so it's different for me. Some people play the game on their computer and they read the chat on their phone. All depends on your hardware, how you've got the thing set up. But yeah, I hated my chat covering my game because I used to do it that way. When I first started, I didn't know how to get around it. And then someone told me something about pop-out chat, and I start looking at the creator dashboard a little bit more on Twitch, learning about what the potential was for that software. You can do quite a bit with it. And you don't stream. Well, oh, those must be, you record your game. Yeah, because Miss Roadrunner, I watch you on YouTube. I don't find you on Twitch. Leave that up to you people, huh? Yeah, come to find out. Yeah, I know. I haven't seen your face or a mic on your YouTube vids. Oh, yeah, I do video. Right. I remember looking at a lot of your photo collection too. You seem to be quite a nature lover, and you're in a perfect spot for it too. Nah, I don't see a need. I thought of doing the same thing. Instead of streaming live game, just record it and put it to YouTube. But for some reason, my YouTube audience is like 1% of my Twitch audience. I don't know why. I just started doing it one day for the website, and voila, it kind of bloomed from there. Oh, did I catch the last fish? I catch glass fish here. That's about the rarest, and I've caught so many of them I don't really need any more. Yeah, we fished this hole out. It is something all whole family. gets into... Oh, nice. I want to see what time... Wow! We just fished for like 6 hours. Go figure. Well, you open now? 7 hours. What are you doing here? Oh my God, catch enough for dinner? Not that much, but time sure flew.
We're so grateful for your help.
The pirate haven has been destroyed.
I can't express how much easier you've made my job. Maybe Adeliza will finally ease up, but I expect she won't. Ah yes, your pay. The company thanks you for your services. Should we ever be able to help you, stop by.
So, in doing what we just did, killing off them pirates, the storyline goes, it's supposed to enable this shipping company to get back into business again. Right now, it's just a dump. How about you? You got anything else to say?
Glad Orthus was able to find someone competent to help out.
Oh, I got a follower here.
I'll take my leave then.
Okay. And why did you stay way over there? You know, the last time I played, I forgot. I killed her because I was going into Gisli's house to steal that deed or do that quest. And there's a guy sleeping in bed while I'm stealing something off the counter. And as I pick it up, of course, it's scripted. He wakes up. What are you doing here? You don't belong in here. Get out. I'm trying to get out. She's standing in the doorway. I'm banging into her, jumping around her. I can't get by her. He's saying, this is the last time I'll call the guards. And I'm trying, she will not move. So finally I try to hit her with my sword. Maybe she'd take a couple steps backwards and say, hey, watch out, I'm on your side. No, instead she dies. You home invader. Yeah, it was scripted. That's how those work. And if you ever noticed, you don't even have to sneak. You can walk right in front of these people. If you're meant to go in there and sneak and find something, they don't see you. But if you're in there sneaking around on your own because you want to steal some stuff, then you better have some good stats and you better be careful because they pay very good attention when it's not scripted for you to go in there and steal something. That's what I've noticed. Let's see, I guess that leaves us here. What's balance of power? Locate kin to saint. Yeah, this is what I gotta do, but I don't know how to. Carthwayston, yeah. So, is this where it is, right there? Is that where their camp is? Let's try that again. Mark the quest, ask it to show me. Oh, it's putting an arrow. See, it didn't do that last time. Let's strike while the iron's hot. It drives me nuts when these games don't behave the same way twice. Ooh, we're close. I guess we're close. Let's see, can I... This terrain is horrible. Good for replay value. True. True. One of my favorite streamers. He'll play for hours, but he's on this thing where for some people they think the perfect YouTube video is 20 minutes long. And he edits everything down to 20 minutes. And he skips a lot. Like, okay, I get it. You know, we're seeing the best. You're cutting out what you think is the most boring stuff. Okay. But, I don't know. I don't know. I prefer to just... Let's see, how do we get off the horse again? There we go. I think it's more immersive, I guess. What spell am I on? Okay, yeah, we'll do that one. Go get him, Casper. Oh, come on, you're just gonna stick.
That's close. Does someone over here? I sense a presence. I sense a presence.
Someone's shooting me with arrows from over there. Oh, there's a lot of people here. Dang. There's a lot of people here. Oh, someone's coming up over the hill. Oh no, oh, I can't take him right now. He's gonna come in with big power swings and he's gonna totally whack me. Oh no, don't draw him into the town. They'll kill all the townsfolk. Oh no, they're gonna kill the goat. Oh, they killed the goat. No, 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 not acceptable. Not acceptable. Perhaps he cannot have long videos. Maybe, I don't know. Kid went outside, dog's barking. Okay. Let's try this again. I tried this quest line, this quest, a couple times. It never told me that camp was there. YouTube, if the person does not have certain requirements, YouTube makes it so their videos are limited on time. Oh, really? What kind of requirements? Because I'll stream for 8 hours. Oh, thanks for the reminder. It's been an hour and 32 minutes. I try to break my tape every hour. I just tell it to stop recording